What's up, guys? It's Joel, Puncher Paintball. Today we are surrounded by Cody and Emmett, and we are here today on a more of a beginner topic. We are here to teach you guys how to properly fill your paintball pod. So if you are just getting into the sport and you're curious about it and you're not exactly sure what the right way is and what the wrong way is, believe it or not, there is a right and a wrong way. So make sure that you stay tuned. We are going to help you out. So make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys after the intro. Alrighty, guys, so we are here and we are talking about one of the most popular things that we get asked, which is how to properly fill your paintball pod. We get a lot of customers that come in the store that are just starting to get into the beginner scene of paintball, and they're really excited, but they are also, got a lot of questions. One of the questions that we get is, how do you properly fill your paintball pod? So we are here to help, right, Emmett?
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, we're going to touch a few things before we do anything. We've got a couple different types of pods here. We've got the Virtue PF 165, and then we've got the tried and true Gen X Global 140 round pod. And before you do anything, boys, what's the first thing that we got to do before we fill up our paintball pod?
Clean it.
We got to clean it. Okay, we have what is called a paintball pod swab. This one is made by Exalt. There's also other brands that make them. HK Army is probably the one that I think of the most when I think of pod swabs besides Exalt, but this is kind of like the standard when it comes to pod swabs. These are made specifically so that you can simply pop that. Why don't you show the people at home how to do this, Emmett? Pop that sucker open. All right, show them how to do it. So guys, the reason that we do this is if you guys need to wipe out some dirt or excess paint or whatever the case may be, you're going to put it all the way in, as Emmett's showing you guys ever so nicely right there. And you're going to do that. And Emmett, the other thing too is we always got to make sure the lid's clean. Lid looks clean there. Perfect. So the idea there, guys, is twofold. One, you don't want dirt getting into your paintball gun. And then secondly, Cody,
break your paint.
Paint inside the pod is not good, because if it gets on the paintball itself, it can cause you to shoot all over the place and you might not know what's going on, and it's actually stemmed out of the fact that you reloaded. All the paintballs that had paint on them are now in your loader, and those are going to get fed into your paintball gun and cause you to shoot squirrely, and you're going to have absolutely no reason why. So step number one, clean your paintball pod. Number two, let's fill some pods, boys. So we can fill them too loose and you can fill them too tight. Cody, if you fill them too loose, what happens?
You're probably going to break it. Probably going to break a lot of paint. And
Okay.
you're going to be rattling all across the field.
You want to show us what you mean by that?
Yeah.
While Cody is showing us, there are two different ways that you can fill your paintball pod. One is, as Cody is showing you, directly from your 500 round bag. Emmett, what do you got there, bud?
A pod caddy.
Okay, so Emmett's got a paintball pod caddy. Those are 1,000 rounds, so they actually hold 2 full bags. And the concept there is it's just a lot easier to go pod to pod. All right, so
feeling too loose.
too loose. So as Cody touched on, one thing that can happen is you can break paint inside because the paint's rattling. The paint is relatively fragile, so if it rattles around there while you're running and your pod pack's going up and down, you can cause paint to shatter inside, which once again is going to lead you to shoot squirrely. And then the other thing too is the notorious rattle. You don't want to be that guy in the field. One, because it's going to break paint, but then on top of that, you're also going to give away your position, guys, on the field. So if you ever hear that coming towards you, it's a pretty good sign that someone's coming up to try and shoot you.
A huge thing,
right?
If you don't have straps and you're running, pods are more than likely just going to bust open.
That too.
Because of the momentum.
Yes, correct. So if you fill your pod too loose, 3 things can happen. 1, you're going to rattle, so it's going to cause noise. 2, you might break paint inside your pod. And then 3, your actual lid might open. Now, if we fill it too tight, Emmett, different things can happen. 1, you're going to break paint. Do you want to break paint?
No.
We already talked about that. Why is that?
Because then if it gets on the ones that didn't break, then they'll just be flying all over the place.
All right, good. So you're going to shoot swirly. And then another thing that I've seen happen, guys, if you fill it too tight, is it can actually cause the lid to pop open as well.
Please, Joel.
Whoops. we're going to overload this. So as you guys can see there, there's a lot of paint there. If I were to try and force that down, obviously it's going to break paint. But not only is it going to break paint, but even if I put a lot in there, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your pod to potentially open up, and you don't want that. So you need the perfect level of pack. Okay, boys, how do we properly pack a pod?
Almost even to the top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty close.
So as you guys can see there, I'm a little bit over the top, but we do what we call the shake and bake here. And we are going to, and you want a little bit of, see how there's a little bit of gap right there? You actually want that. And the reason that is because when you close the pod, your pod should sound like this. Okay, there should be no noise to it. One, because it doesn't give away your position. And two, the paint is packed in there just tight enough that it's not going to be moving around and potentially cause a ball break. All right, so a couple other things that I want to point out real quick, guys, before we do a little competition here is storing paint as well as like using some utilization here. Pro tips for you guys when you're filling your paint on what to do. So we've got a box here. As you guys can see here, I've actually folded in the tabs here. And the reason for that is because you can actually put your pods up like this once you've got them all packed tightly, and you can actually use your paintball boxes as a good way to store your pods. The other thing that you're going to want to do is once you got your pods filled up with paint, you are going to want to try and get in shade as soon as possible so it's not baking in the sun. And then last but not least, at the end of the day, Cody, what do we do with our pods?
Well, you can either burp them or you can just completely empty them back into your caddy and just
Correct.
save them in your pod bag.
Correct. Emmett, you want to show us how to burp a pod? Just pour a little bit out and put it into your pod caddy there. Yep. Alrighty, guys. Perfect. Emmett did a perfect job there. And the reason for that is, I'm going to snap the lid there. And the reason for that, guys, is because at the end of the day, once you're done playing, you don't want that paint packed tightly for too long. It could cause dimpling. You okay there? Okay, all right. I think Emmett's okay. All right, guys. So the reason for that is you guys don't want dimpling with the paintball pods. The paint is going to fly everywhere if the paint is dimpled. So at the end of the day, don't forget to burp your pods. All right. I think I've covered everything. Do you have anything to add to any of that?
No.
All right, guys. So now we've got the showdown. The showdown, we've got Cody over here. He's got a paintball bag. We've got Emmett over here. He's got a paintball caddy, and we're going to do a little race here. So we're going to give Emmett enough paint in his pod caddy. The other thing, too, with your pod caddy, guys, is tilt your... When you're first filling your pod caddy up, you're going to want to tilt it because you are kind of pouring at a decent distance, and I've actually seen people break paint in their pod caddy because if you've got really fragile paint, it can cause it to break if you don't tilt it to the side there. Okay, Emmett, you definitely have enough paint there. Pods down, pods down. All right, gentlemen, are you ready to race? Now, we want a fully, nicely packed pod. I'll be the judge at the end. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right, and 3. Go. Emmett's off to a good lead. Keep going, keep going, keep going. A little bit more. Yep. There you go. There you go. Grab a few if you don't want it too loose. There you go. Cody's definitely losing this one. There you go. That's good. Shake and bake. Shake and bake. All right. There you go. Close the lid. Cody's apparently struggling over here. Boom. There it is, guys.
And I'm a ball loose.
As you guys can see there, Emmett did a really good job. It's not too loose, not too tight. Good job, dude. Well done. Well done. Cody's
Still ball loose, sadly. maybe two balls.
Cody is too loose. So Emmett definitely wins the challenge. All right, there you guys have it. That is how to fill your paintball pod with Punisher's Paintball. Really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you subscribe for more informational content. We'll see you guys next time.